And welcome to another episode of Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey, being joined by Alan Tyson from Lee Hill and Johnston Insurers, and we're up top of ERA Hirsch Real Estate Team, buying or selling real estate. Talk to the experts downstairs at ERA Hirsch Real Estate Team. Well, Alan, 7 out of the last 8 weeks we've gone on here, and we've unfortunately been talking about Georgia Southern losses. Once again, that's the case. Georgia Southern goes up to Georgia State. I saw Vegas had it as a 3.5 point spread. I thought, golly, they just lost their head coach. I know we're not playing too well, but it seems like we should be favored by a little more than that. Well, obviously, they had it maybe flip-flopped the other way. 20-0 is the way the game starts out. From that point on, Georgia Southern played pretty well, but that's been the case a lot this year, where Georgia Southern gives up these points in bunches, and the other team pulls ahead or takes a big lead. They get close, and then they give up another big play, and it kind of seals the deal. That was the case once again this past Saturday.
Yeah, we just got off to a terrible start. I mean, I think we kicked off to them, and they drove the ball down to about our 30-yard line, maybe 29-yard line, and went for it on 4th down, and we stopped them. But unfortunately, we were called for an offsides penalty, and then either 1 or 2 plays later, their guy ran 25 yards for a touchdown. And then on their next possession, we had an opportunity to intercept the pass right in the middle of the field, and we didn't make the play on the ball. We had an opportunity to catch it. We didn't, and they ended up getting another touchdown.
Well, that was after a fumble, too.
That was after, yeah, that's right. That was after we fumbled the ball on our possession after their first touchdown.
Correct.
So it was just it was a comedy of errors to begin with, and as a result, we got so far behind the 8 ball that we just couldn't score enough points to come back. The second half kind of got off to a similar start. We ended up giving them 10 points in the third quarter, and we had none. And then we were able to put put a touchdown on the board in the fourth quarter, but we just didn't seem to get the job done on either side of the ball well enough to win the football game, and that's kind of been the case in this little streak that we've been on. Sometimes we've looked fairly good on offense, and then the defense doesn't play well enough to win. And then sometimes we've played pretty good on defense, and then like in the Appalachian State game, and then our offense just sputters. But in this game, we didn't play well enough on either side of the ball to beat a team that was 2-8 and had only beaten one FBS team, and
had their coach fired the week before.
And with that, I mean, you never know how their players are going to react. That may or may not have had an effect one way or the other on them. But the fact of the matter is that they had played 10 games and only won 2 of them, and one of those was against Texas State, who some people would argue would be the worst team in the country. So it's really disappointing to go to Atlanta and have a performance like that.
In front of a good crowd.
In front of a good
Georgia Southern
fan
crowd.
base for Georgia Southern, I watched the entire game, and I can't really tell you, what the problem was, except we just didn't get the job done.
Well, one of the bigger problems has been creeping up throughout the year, and that's injuries. I don't know. It seems like this is even more injuries than we've ever had in the 25 years I've been covering Georgia Southern. It just seems like there's been one after the other after the other. A lot of times, you might see a starting quarterback go out, and then you have to play with the backup the whole year, but the running backs are fairly healthy. Right. Or, you get a couple of injuries on defense. But this has just been a rash of injuries to some pretty durable players in the past, and you scratch your head and you just don't know if it's just a horseshoe, that Coach Fritz had that they don't have on this staff. But it just seems like anything that can be going wrong is going wrong this year.
Well, Kevin Ellison, I think, it's kind of been one of those things where it's just he's been here for 5 years and he's played an awful lot of football for Georgia Southern. I think the injuries have kind of just piled up on him. He's
Correct.
got things. His whole body is just an accident waiting to happen. I mean, if you hit him on the elbow, he's got a bad elbow. If his legs are bad. So a lot of times
he does take some hits while he's running the ball that a lot of players might slide. So you can say that's being tough, but it's also contributing to his injuries as well. Right. The fact that he takes hits.
Right, and he's had those type situations even when Coach Fritz was here. You know, he would, like the Tech game, for instance, in 2014, he had to go out late because he had a nagging shoulder injury, which he's had the whole time he's been here, it seems like.
Yeah.
But, you know, he shakes that off and gets back in the game in most cases. I think last week, or week before last at the Lafayette game, he actually had a concussion protocol and was unable to dress. But you know, again, when kids are seniors and they've been around, they played a lot of football, they've been banged on for 3 or 4 years, then they have those kind of nagging injuries. Other than that, you know, it could be a horseshoe. I mean, sometimes you just don't get hurt. Again, I think I said on last week's show, I really hadn't seen evidence that anybody's been hurt in practice.
Right.
The way that we, you know, and this is not a knock on Jeff, it's just the way he practiced, but when he was here, we ran into each other all the time, and we had a lot of the injuries that we sustained were not on Saturday, they were on Tuesday or Wednesday. I hadn't seen evidence of that, but for some reason, and we've brought up strength and conditioning before, it just seems like we've had sort of a rash of injuries to some key players I mean, anytime you're not playing with your best guys, I mean, that hurts you.
All right, well, let's go out and see some of the highlights or lowlights, see what happened, and then hear a little bit from Coach Summers. The Georgia Southern Eagles back in the Georgia Dome Saturday to take on the Georgia State Panthers. A good crowd of Eagle fans on hand, but handshakes not extended by the Eagle players prior to kickoff. Maybe that lit a fire under the Georgia State team. Playing the first time without head coach Trent Miles. Fired last week, but Connor Manning moving the team downfield, and it's Glenn Smith going 29 yards for the touchdown, and Georgia State would open up a 7-0 lead. On offense, Matt Breida coughs the ball up for the Eagles, and the Panthers recover in great field position and capitalize. Manning up top to Ari Wirtz. This originally ruled a touchdown, but after review, he was down at the 1, but no problem. Manning on the sneak, and it's 13-0. The offense continues to sputter for the Eagles. Nowhere to go for Breida. And Georgia State goes to work. First, Manning continuing to look like Peyton or Eli as he hits Robert Davis, who takes out a ref. And then the two hook up again moments later, only this time it's for a touchdown. And with about 7 minutes left in the first quarter, it's 20-0. Coach Tyson Summers looking to finally get his team together, and the offense finally moving downfield. First, Kevin Ellison hooks up with Monte Crockett for 35 yards, and then it's Ellison straight up the middle, 24 yards for the touchdown, 20-7 Panthers. The offense again moving downfield late in the first quarter. Ellison would come through with 101 yards rushing in the game. But on the next play after this one, an unfortunate recurrence as Ellison injured and would have to leave the game. Fabian Upshaw comes in, hands off to Matt Breida for the touchdown. The lead cut to 20-14. After a nice punt return by Monte Crockett, Seth Schumann makes the most of his limited action, scrambling for a first down and setting up Youngwei Koo for a school record field goal here. This one from 43 yards out. And we go to the half, 20-17 Georgia State. Second half, Georgia State starting the way they started the first quarter, moving downfield. Manning to Keith Rucker, who had 145 yards receiving, and then capping the 88-yard drive, Manning to Glenn Smith. It's 27-17 Panthers. The Eagles then turn the ball over once again. This time trouble on the handoff. Georgia State able to recover and will turn it into more points. This time it would only be a field goal, but that would make it 30-17 28-17. This about sums up many Eagle fans' feelings. In the fourth quarter, Upshaw leading the team downfield. Here he hits Quan Howard for a first down. And then it's L.A. Ramsby getting the call. He goes in for the score. The offense would end up getting it back. But on fourth down, the pass from Upshaw will fall incomplete, sealing the deal. And the Eagles' postseason hopes come to a close as they fall 30-24. And before we go to break, we'd like to remind everyone, for any legal advice you may have in the Statesboro and Bullitt County area, talk to our friend Levitt Bennett Jr., attorney at law PC, Levitt's office located in downtown Statesboro.
To stay ahead, a parent has to really be on the go and stop for school, stop for sports, stop for an intervention. But you don't have to stop for banking. To stay ahead with mobile online banking, bank ahead with Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
Do you ever wonder what that 15% savings cost you in service?
What's the name on the account?
My name is Mary, M-A-R-Y.
Who is it?
Mary.
Oh,
My
okay.
name's Mary.
Right.
Are you even listening to me?
Sure.
At Glenn Davis Insurance, we get to know you as a person. To us, you're not just another number. Together with Auto Owners Insurance, we can develop an insurance plan tailored to your specific needs. Glenn Davis and Associates. Call or come by today.
Well, Alan, in the last segment, we had a chance to talk with Coach Summers after the game. Sometimes that's a little awkward exchange. The coach has just gotten back from being with the players, and his head is somewhere else. And then you start asking him question after question, especially with a new coach. You stick a light in their face, and you start asking questions, and sometimes you don't get everything or get them a chance to really kind of go in clear-headed to what they want to say. We had a chance to talk with head coach Tyson Summers on Monday about the status of where Georgia Southern is right now. They know they're having a losing season. They know they're not going to a bowl game. Got a week off. Maybe comes at a bad time in a way. Maybe it comes at a good time. But we had a chance to talk to him about where Georgia Southern is as a team, and also clear up some questions about social media that have been going on in the last few days.
I think the big thing, obviously going in this week and what we want to be able to do versus Troy is send these seniors out on the right note. We certainly feel like as this game comes and our seniors are coming and what they've been able to do for our institution and for our program the last couple of years, we want to be able to finish this thing the right way. It's another football game, it's another conference game, but it's an important game because of that group of seniors. From a fan base standpoint, I think that everybody needs to know that we're working as hard as we can possibly work, and we haven't had the results that we wanted to from a win-loss standpoint. And I certainly understand everybody's frustration, and I'm certainly as frustrated as anybody. But the thing that I would want everybody to know is that with us and what we're trying to do here and what we're trying to make sure that we are putting into our players in all three phases, in football and academics, and making an impact in their lives, we're doing those things. I really do feel like, and I know for me and for our staff and everything that we do, we're going to continue to build off the recruits that we had last year, continue to build off the players that we have in place right now, and we are going to be someone that is going to be hard to be reckoned with in the future. And I understand everybody's frustration, and I have certainly said it a number of times. Point your frustration at me, and I've got to be able to be the one to be able to handle those things and to be accountable for them, and I promise you I more than recognize them, and we've got to be able to sit there and learn from them and move on, and at the end of the day, that's what we're going to continue to do this week in our preparation versus Troy. As we move forward, our preparation into recruiting and going into this off-season with a great off-season mindset, with everything that we do from a work habit standpoint, from an academic standpoint, and get this place to exactly where it's been for a long time, and the reason that I care so much and want to be here so much because of the winning and because of the traditions that are there. And that's what I would try to send from a message standpoint.
I know social media can be a positive, it can be a negative. I know that that's something that as an assistant coach, you've probably dealt a little bit with, but now as a head coach, it's really coming at you hard.
Sure.
I know social media has been something that's over the last few days, over the last few weeks, you've had to deal with in many ways. How are you handling the social media aspect of your job?
Sure. Well, and social media is such a big thing as it reverts one to communication, and again, what winds up happening to you in a lot of it is it becomes hard. From a fan base standpoint, obviously, like I've said a number of times, I want any amount of frustration or negativity, I want that pointed at me. I don't want it pointed at our players. And I've certainly made that very, very aware as a number of times that I've sat there and spoken on it and spoken out on it. I think the big thing is, and again, really mistake on my part, we went through the other day and had a situation where, again, recruiting, it affects our recruits. Social media, whether you like it or not, it does. It affects our recruits and what they think and how they view things. And so, trying to protect some of those things, the other day and trying to look at it from a recruiting standpoint, really made a poor decision. Was not trying to be in a situation at all where I was trying to be rude to our fan base. Was really in a position where I was trying to protect our what we were doing from a recruiting standpoint. We've got a fantastic class going, and again are doing a good job with all those guys and everything that's happening. And again, I've got to do a better job of looking 3 and 4 question marks down the road when it comes to social media, because it can be, it's a broad-based thing and people can have different opinions, and sometimes things that were intended one way aren't taken that way. And I've got to do a better job of being able to think 3 steps ahead on some of it, and being able to control it.
Stay with us. Coming up next, we'll have our high school segment.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
There's a lot to celebrate when you move ahead, but it takes planning. Finding the right one, making it a home, and a great mortgage specialist from Queensboro. Move ahead with your dream and bank ahead with Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
See Jeremy Reagan and the staff at Queensboro National Bank and Trust, South Main Street in Statesboro.
It's now time for our high school segment. It's brought to you by Ogeechee Technical College. When we come back, we'll take a look at some girls basketball action from over at Bullock Academy.
I'm Brian Reliza.
My name is Michaela Graham.
And I'm an echocardiography graduate.
I'm studying to be a veterinary technician.
And I am OTC.
And I am OTC.
We believe every path is different and every student is unique. Whether you're interested in dual enrollment, an associate degree, or earning credit toward a higher degree, a diploma, or certificate, Ogeechee Tech can help you build a strong foundation for your future. Visit ogeecheetech.edu to find out how you can go anywhere from here.
Well, Alan, the Bullock Academy Gators a little banged up themselves. We were talking about Georgia Southern and injuries. They've had some as well, but they did host the Lady Gator Classic this past week, and we had a chance to get out there and see some highlights of Southeast Bullock playing Bullock Academy. Bullock Academy going up against Southeast Bullock in their annual Lady Gator Classic. The Gators out to an early lead, going inside to McKay Sands, who would have a big game. Abby Newton providing the outside presence as she nails the three-pointer. Newton then back inside to Sands, who would lead the way with 23 points and 9 rebounds. Sands showing she can step outside the paint and score as well. The friendly bounce, BA by 8. More from McKay. This time the hoop and the foul. But the Yellow Jackets not going away quietly. Aaliyah Sandafi with 15 points and 14 boards. Then Jaden Smith penetrates for the layup. But again, the Gators answer. Abby Newton, 2 more of her 16 points in the game. And finally, it's Olivia Collins with the finishing touch as the Gators win 44-30. Back with more in a moment on Upon Further Review.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you. Dr. Sergio Dalsenia of Family Internal Medicine reminds you that Kathy Shriver, who specializes in diabetes education and consultations, is now exclusive to Family Internal Medicine. Call for an appointment. Their office located in the Cotton Ridge Plaza on Fair Road.
To stay ahead, a parent has to really be on the go and stop for school, stop for sports, stop for an intervention. But you don't have to stop for banking. To stay ahead with mobile online banking, bank ahead with Queensboro National Bank and Trust.
We know how important your family is to you, which is why family medicine is so important to us. At TRICARE Family Medicine, we'll see that your family is in the best possible health. We offer a fun and friendly environment and are now accepting new pediatric and adult patients. Come experience the difference today. Let our family take care of your family at TRICARE Family Medicine, the official family practice of Georgia Southern Athletics.
All right, here's the time everyone's waiting for. Jennifer Lee Hirsch here to make her picks. Jennifer, you're sponsored by your old buddies at
Lee Hill Johnson.
All right, we're going to start off. All right, we got to mention Jennifer struggled again last week. She went 3-9. Josh went 6-6. She didn't make any college picks right. But this is the week. She makes it all up.
We like to say the fans and the outpouring love that you're doing right now is great.
All right.
Keep it up. I had somebody comment on Facebook just a while ago saying, hey, we watched your show the other night. Hey, great. Thanks.
We're going to start off, Jennifer.
I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving to all my fans
of course.
as well, because Thanksgiving's coming up, and you know I am thankful. We used to do this with my dad, and so I'm going to try to do it with Josh this year. I am very thankful for my family, for my mom, for my sisters, and for Georgia Southern. Looking at what Georgia Southern did for us when they saluted my dad and everything, very heartwarming moment because we had freedom on the field, and I had to take a picture with freedom, and it was kind of cool.
And they won the game.
Yes, and they won that game. I'm thankful for, though, seriously, for long and holding 1, family, 2, God, and 3, for my best friends in the whole entire world. That's Josh Aubrey. Also, Kyler Aubrey, his son. Also, my dad, who is watching over us. You know, there's not a dull moment that we don't miss him. I will say this, and then we will continue the picks.
All right.
On Thanksgiving of last year, I had kind of was telling my daddy, we were joking around, and he said, you know, Thanksgiving is a time about family and being around loved ones. Well, that's true. So this year, it's totally different from my family because we normally like celebrate at my house. So this year, I am proud to say that I get to see my older sister who lives in North Carolina, and her name is Shannon Townsend.
Yep.
And we're going to see Lauren and Anna and Miles, and we're going to have Sandy and Bryant and Delaney and Carol and a whole bit, and my mama and me. And we'll go to Myrtle Beach this week. And we'll come back on Sunday, and Shannon go back home Saturday. And I am also thankful, Josh, really. When I say this, it means coming from my heart and everything. I cannot do it, y'all. I cannot literally do it without Josh.
Well, thank you, Jennifer.
Because Josh means a lot to my family. He has outpouring the love of everything that's been doom and gloom at my house, and sometimes I'm trying to think positive and I'm trying to think better things. But when life hits you, you really don't know how to take it in. And this Thanksgiving, I am very blessed, and I am so ready. Even though Thanksgiving's coming up quick.
Yep.
Christmas would be the next one.
There you go. And it's coming up quick as well. And so are our picks, which we're going to have to do quick now. So let's get into it. Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia is giving 5 to Paul Johnson's squad. Who you like?
Well, this week, Georgia Tech, I believe, won this week? Is that, or last week?
The last time they played, I think they did win.
Paul Johnson, talk to me.
So you got
Georgia Tech this week.
All right, I'm going to go with Georgia. Texas A&M giving 5 to LSU. Who you like?
Texas A&M,
All
5
right,
points.
I'm going LSU. Alabama, Auburn. Alabama's giving 18 points to Auburn. Is that a lot of points?
18 points is a good number.
So you think?
And I am picking Alabama.
I'm going to go with you. Alabama. Seems like too many, but Florida State -8 against Florida. Who you like, Jennifer?
There was 2 questions that I had on this game, and then I thought about it, and then I Googled it and done research. And I did Florida State this week because I don't believe that Florida Gators is up to winning.
All right. I think they are. I'm taking Florida. Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Vandy's getting 8 points.
Okay.
Who you like?
Vanderbilt is getting 8 points. Hey, fans, tune in because Vanderbilt has 8 points they're giving, correct?
They're getting.
Getting 8 points. Trying to learn here.
Yes.
Tennessee doesn't get any points.
That's right. They're
So
giving
I'm picking Vanderbilt this week.
All right, and final college, and then we got to rush through the pros, Jennifer. Ohio State -7 Michigan. Who you like?
Ohio State.
I'm with you. All right, pros. Dallas -7 Washington. Who you like?
Dallas all the way.
I'm going with you. Baltimore -4 Cincinnati. Who you like?
Baltimore.
I'll go Cincinnati. Atlanta -4 Arizona. Who you like?
Why are they playing against Arizona? That's the question.
I don't know.
Go figured. Atlanta, I'm going to pick you this week, but you better not screw me over.
All right, I got Atlanta. Oakland, Carolina. Oakland -4. Who?
Oakland.
With you. Jets +8 against New England. Who you like?
New York Jets.
I got New England. And finally, Philly -4 against Green Bay. Quick.
Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm with you. That's our picks for this week. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope to see you all soon. And that'll wrap it up for this week. See you next week.